Shalom, more praise to the Most High. So this is to ask the question concerning the process of gathering everything together for writing a book, right? So we're just going to get into that real quick. So what I will say to you is simply this. Know your voice, right? Because knowing your voice is going to help you in your writing process. Now, the way that you actually develop your voice or find your voice comes through your experiences in life. Live in the moments of your life and get an understanding as to what the Most High is communicating to you and through you on a daily basis, because ultimately that becomes your message, and your message also becomes your voice. Are you a voice of encouragement? Are you a voice of warning? Are you a voice of, joy? Are you a voice of, just, comedy, right? What's your voice? Usually we find this in, like I said, our personal experiences. Our personal experiences is actually our manuscript. The scripture says that we're living epistles, right? That means that we're living letters. We are living, moving, breathing, talking manuscripts. So the way that we are developing our book is based on how we live our everyday life. With that being the case, we have to be able to understand that we have to tap into an authentic lifestyle, right? Because I think that most people think that when you have to write a book, or when you're on the journey of writing a book, you have to sound a certain way, and that's completely false. The only way that you have to sound towards your reader is authentic. Be authentic, live authentic, write authentically, right? If you're not authentic, your reader will be able to pick up that you're trying to put on something that you're really not. So the best thing for you to do is to pull from your life experience, because your life experience will also empower you on your writing journey. Once you've been able to find your voice and find your message, the next thing is to just lock in and do the writing. Once again, be authentic. Okay, so as you're doing this whole writing process, you lock in a few hours of the day, as many hours as you can, and just write. Write. What usually helps during that writing process is how many chapters is your book going to be. Depending on how many chapters your book is going to be, that kind of lets you know how long your writing process is going to be. And then also you can lock in to see how many pages would you like each chapter to be. So, for instance, if you have, let's say, like my first book, I think was a 7-chapter book, and that was about 20,000 words. 20,000 words, and now you got to look at how long is it going to take me to complete a 20,000 word manuscript. Is that going to take me 8 hours? Is that going to take me 16 hours? Is it going to take me a whole day? Is it going to take me 3 days? How long is it going to take me? Because then that depends on how many hours a day you're going to write. Now, another thing is, don't pressure yourself, but pressure yourself. In other words, don't get to the point where you get so locked in and you're rushing your manuscript. But at the same time, don't procrastinate, and don't try to use writer's block as an excuse on why you can't get the manuscript done. This is why staying in the moment of your life and always thinking as an author will always work for you. That means throughout your day, little interactions here and there may spark a thought. Write it down, or make a mental note. Carry around your phone, do voice notes. When you get a chance, sit down and write it. Then see if you can build a chapter from that. See if you can add that to a previous paragraph that you might have written. You just got to create your own writing process. Everyone has a different process, right? Musicians have a different process. Spoken word artists or poets have their own personal process. Every author, every creator has a creative process. So you just have to find your creative writing process and create a schedule that's going to work for you. So now that you've found your voice, you know what your message is, you tapped into that authentic self, and on top of that, you develop your schedule and you have a writing style. What's next? It's putting together that manuscript, right? Do you have your book cover? Does your book cover give at least some type of detail as to what your book is about? Do you have a title for your book? Do you have a subtitle? Have you named your chapters? Right? You would think that that would be part of your writing process, but a lot of times people do that after they have already written the manuscript. I, on the other hand, I created the title and the book cover first, and then from there, as I started writing, I found the name of my chapters within the paragraphs or within the chapters that I was writing. Because that could be sometimes the hardest thing, is trying to name your book or also naming your chapters. So, what is your message, right? For some people, what helps them with their book title is their series. Like for myself, I have the Consecrated Consciousness series, right? So that series is locked in on developing a consciousness or a mind that's set apart to do the will of the Most High. So anything that I write is focused on that. Now, what I name the title of the books, that has everything to do with, number one, what precept I'm bringing out, or what we're actually going to be discussing within that book. Once you've gotten all of that together, your book cover, the title, you naming your chapters, your manuscript, and everything is done. The next thing is, do you want to self-publish or do you want to do mass media publishing? I personally advocate for self-publishing, and the reason why is because with self-publishing, you don't have to really worry about many restrictions. The only restrictions that you really have to worry about is your margins, right? And how you actually go about the spacing and everything concerning how your book is arranged. But as far as your voice, the things that you're actually putting out, the terminologies that you would like to use, you'll be able to use those terminologies without it coming back saying, oh, I don't think you should use this. I don't think you should say it like that. But when it comes to mass media, that's what you're going to have to worry about. And when it comes to self-publishing, you'll be able to kick out as many books as you want. Whereas with mass media and you're dealing with an actual publishing company, they may reject your manuscript because it's not something that they're trying to push out at that moment in time. The next thing is your demographic. Now, that also goes into what we talked about earlier when it comes to knowing your voice. In you knowing your voice, you should also know your audience, right? This is why when you have conversations with people and you can see that it has an effect, you know for a fact who your audience is, right? Is it single women? Is it for single fathers? Is it for someone that's dealing with depression? Is it for someone that's an entrepreneur? Things of that nature. It helps you develop even the contents of your book by knowing your demographic. What is it that they need to know? What is it that you come to find out people don't know, or that there's a misunderstanding and that you very well may have, to bring the clarity and the insight concerning that subject matter? So after you decided whether you want to be self-published or if you want to go through mass media publishing, the next thing is drop that manuscript, right? Submit it to whatever self-publishing agency or mass media publishing company that you're going to be going with. And if you're going to be doing self-publishing, just have a strategy on how you're going to do your marketing. Right? Your marketing, your promoting is going to help you with your book sales. Okay? And with that, hopefully I was able to give you the insight that's needed. If somebody else got questions, and sis, if you got more questions, by all means, you could DM me or you could drop your comment below. This won't be my last time doing these type of videos, but if you want more videos like this, please just leave your questions or just say do more videos like this in the comment sections. Shalom.